Oh, what a lad. And what a lad I have for you today. Not only is today's guest one of the most exciting backs in the country with his footwork, speed, and strength of doom, he is also one of the nicest guys you'll meet. And that was confirmed after he was happy enough to go around to Keithy's house for a roast haggis. But I'm stoked to have this lad on. He is one of the greats. It is Jona Nareki. Welcome, mate.
Thank you, thank you. I feel so welcome to be here. It's almost my podcast.
Mate, I've been trying to get you on for a while. I've been looking forward to sitting down and having a yarn with you. But, mate, it's awesome seeing you back out there. I know you had a bit of an injury, a decent injury last year, but awesome to see you back out on the field. And from your form so far this season, looks like you're straight back to the form that you left off with.
Yeah, 100%. I'm glad to be back. I missed it a lot. I wouldn't say an injury. I think I had a sabbatical, really. I actually loved it. I actually loved my sabbatical, my wee sabbatical. Got up to some good old fun, picked up some new hobbies. But yeah, glad to be back into it.
And how is your body feeling? How's your knee feeling?
Yeah, my knee's feeling unreal. Like, way more confidence in it in the last probably like 2 to 3 months leading up to the Mitre 10, sorry, the Bunnings Cup. So yeah, I've enjoyed my rehab, and I guess knowing more about my body than you actually think you do.
Yeah. And you went off in the game against Tasman in the weekend, but that just a little scare? I mean, it sort of saved us. You were carving us up in that first 20 minutes. Um, Nothing
Yeah,
major there.
I was quite. Nah, it was actually I'm out for 8 weeks now, which is niggly.
Oh,
I
true.
could yeah, so I ruptured something in my ankle, so I just had my scan and MRI yesterday, and ruptured something in my ankle. But lucky enough that I don't need surgery, so I was kind of hoping that I wouldn't need surgery because then it'll push me up to 3 to 4 months. But yeah, no, 8 weeks, so I should be able to play the last 2 rounds of the Bunnings Cup. So niggly, I think I came out too hot. Really came out too hot for the body.
Mate, another 8 week sabbatical. You love it.
Yeah, that's what everyone said. You must be enjoying your sabbaticals. I was like, oh, I'm telling you, it chooses me. I don't choose it.
But how was the whole rehab process? You obviously enjoyed your time off the field, but how did you find that whole process?
I found it quite interesting. Just because like I played footy for probably since out of school all the way through, so I didn't have no major injury. So this was probably the first major one that I've ever had. So to sit back and especially on a Super Rugby team and watch um, from the sidelines and have that point of view was kind of it was good, but then bad just because our team, just because the Landers weren't doing as great as would like them to, as I'd like them to be. So yeah, I felt left out, but then also like it was kind of good that I had a few niggles as well, so refreshed my whole body really to be back. So that's probably why I came out firing in that Tasman game, and then boom, and go back to another sabbatical.
And you obviously got plenty of arm work in your off season, in your wee sabbatical, because your arms are looking massive.
Oh, do you reckon? I don't reckon. Looking pretty normal, I reckon. It's almost the fishing I've been doing. I've been catching so many blue cod. Like, it tends to put a toll on your arms, I reckon.
Oh, classic. But one thing I do want to mention before we do get into your life and your whole journey is the prank. Obviously, it was a prank that I was pretty nervous about because I hadn't met you before. Asking you to come around to Keithy's house for a roast haggis and a cuddle. I had the heart pumping, but mate, I was just blown away by what a lad you were to accept the invite and keen to head around for dinner. What do you remember about it?
So it was like you called me and I was driving. I was driving to the airport. I don't know who I was picking up, but somehow I was just driving to the airport and I was just like, how am I gonna like tell this person do I tell this person? Do I tell Keithy like, oh, just message me, and then I just tell him, hell to the no, I ain't coming. Like, but like in person, like over the phone, I was like, oh nah, like I'll be keen to come over, and then once they said, oh, then we can cuddle, I was like, oh nah. I was like, nah, Keithy must want more. And then there was something that happened that kind of like, then Hisa messages me the next day or something, and it's like, how was your phone call? And I was like, I knew it was a stitch up. Like I knew it was a stitch up. No, it was gold though.
I thought you might have picked up on it the back end of that combo when I did mention Hisa and the cuddle, but mate, was it a couple of days later then Hisa messaged you that you realised that it was a prank?
No, because like he's pretty marginal to himself, really. Like he gives a lot of hugs away to some people. So like I just thought it would be normal for Hisa to be giving cuddles and haggises away. I was like, oh, this would be normal for Hisa. So I was like, oh, it must be one of his mates. And then he messages me afterwards, and I was like, oh, nah, this was a prank. But this was definitely a prank.
Oh, one of the greats. I do love that one. I listened back to it last night and had a good old laugh. But like I mentioned, I do want to hear a little bit more about your life. What life was like as a young fella for you. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Wanganui, the land of the big white long brown river. Yeah, no, it's an amazing town actually. Oh, I actually rate it. Now, yeah, it depends how you see it, but no, it was a great town. Small, so no, it's good.
And
Can't
footy?
complain.
How'd you get into
Really.
footy?
Uh, just growing up, just watching like Joe Rokavoko and Sitivini Sinivatu and them. Probably I just wanted to become one of them, especially in the Super Rugby scene. And then I spent like I was at Wanganui City College for like year 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then Vili Monikoroa, he got me into fielding ag. So that's when on my last year I got over to fielding ag. And then I kind of like really got into my footy there. It was like real serious over there. So that's where it kind of took off for me.
Were you always good as a young kid coming through?
Nah. I was average. I was average. Surprisingly, I was a 10 back in the day.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, people
Big
used
left
to
foot.
call me like DC. People used to call me DC, like the chocolate DC back then.
Were you goal kicking?
I want to say chocolate. Oh, I did kind of, but like once my legs got a bit tight, I used to just push it over, as you know, people do. You just push it over. Once it gets to the sideline, you start giving it to other people.
But I could imagine you being quite talented at a few different things. Was it always rugby for you, or did you have a few other options or sports that you did?
Now, in the summer I used to play cricket.
Did you?
Back in Wanganui, I used to play cricket just because it was like there's nothing to do in the summer really, so I just played cricket, and the cricket team was like battling for numbers, so I just used to go be a fielder. Used to I wouldn't say bowl because all the boys will rip me in, but I was probably in the top 5 batsmen. I was pretty good, to be honest. I don't want to blow my own tires out, but holy heck, I could smash a 6.
Were you a big hitter? Was that sort of your game plan most weeks?
Yeah, just come out firing. That's what the coach used to tell me. Just be like, I just want you to go out there, Jona, and just get as much runs as you can. I don't care if you get out. And I was like, oh, yeah, say no more.
It's a good mindset. I like that.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
And did you play much touch? I could imagine you being a pretty sharp touch player.
Nah, I've never played touch.
Wow.
Like surprisingly, I've never ever played like touch, not like New Zealand type touch. So I've never ever played it.
True. Basketball.
Yeah. Some people call me like Ray Allen and stuff when I'm on the court, like just because I'm always hitting. I'm a green light type person on the corner. But no, it's not something that I'd go down. But yeah, basketball.
What about acting?
Volleyball.
I'm just going through all these things that are springing to mind because, mate, you look like a talented guy.
Now I love volleyball. Volleyball is probably one of the volleyball. I love playing table tennis. What else do I enjoy? Oh, 8-ball pool. Oh, that's probably one of the my main hobby is 8-ball pool. I love pool. Just angles and stuff.
A lot of time in the clubs.
Yeah, especially after nice wee jug gets the heart pumping.
So then, how did you go from fielding to professional footy? What was the pathway for you?
Fielding, I made the Barbarians, the New Zealand Barbarians team. And then from there, I kind of got scouted to come down to Otago. But like the thing is, I wanted to come down to Otago. This is a story for you. So I catch up with my agent comes over to the Whitelocks are real big, eh? So at Fielding Egg, so they say, I've got this agent that I want you guys to meet, and there's three of us. There's me, Vilimoni, and one of the other boys. His name's Tom. So he can find out where you guys want to go, and he can be your agent if you guys want. And so, as you know, me and my parents, Phil's parents and Tom's parents, we all went to this meeting over at the Whitelocks house, and our agent, old Warren, he goes, so where do you want to go, Jonah? And I was like, wouldn't mind going down to Dunedin, eh? And then he was, yeah, what would you want to do? I was, mechanics course. He was like, mean. So then, like, on the drive home, like, long story short, on the drive home, my mum was like, do you know where Dunedin is? And I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, it's in the South Island, like, easy as. So in my head, I didn't tell my mum that I thought Christchurch was Dunedin, so like above, and I didn't know Dunedin was way below. So then, anyway, Warren susses out this flight. This like I come down to Dunedin for a couple of days, and then like check out the facilities and go to the Polytech, etc., and then fly back up. And on the way to the airport, like 2 weeks later, on the way to the airport, my mum was like, "You should really like Google where Dunedin is." And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever you want. Like, yeah, okay. So Dunedin, I Google where Dunedin is, and I just see that it's at the bottom of Christchurch, and my heart just it just sinks to the bottom, and I'm like, oh. And then I quickly click on the images, and all I see is snow, like just snow, like snow this, snow that, and I'm like, Mum, I don't think I can live there. And like by this time, it's like too late, I've already like signed these things, and I was like, I've got to make this work, but. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to go down so I can be away from mum and dad and try to be independent, but kind of didn't work out well because I just came straight to this nice family, this nice club family, and oh my gosh, the lady there, Sandy, she was amazing. She'd cook us like maybe like a 4-course meal, like every dinner. She was so good. Like I probably gained about 4 kgs at their house, but yeah, no, it was just amazing that I opted to come down here, and now it's home for me, which I rate, which is good.
But you were hoping to go to Christchurch, was it?
Nah, so I thought that Christchurch, I just thought that Dunedin and Christchurch, it was just going to be warmer. Like one of them's just going to be just closer to that, like Nelson, lovely place. So I thought, yeah, Nelson's pretty, so it's going to be up there, like near there. But nah, it's the opposite. It's near Antarctica more than Nelson. That's what I was shattered about.
But you obviously love it down there now. So then how did you go from, you missed out on the New Zealand schools, but you made New Zealand 20. So how did you manage to do that?
Yeah, that was funny because we did this that provincial under 19s tournament in Taupo, and I had probably the most shockingest tournament I've ever had in my entire life. And anyway, I didn't get picked for the camps, and there was I think there was like 3 camps. So there was a first camp, second camp, and the third camp. I think that was the last camp that they were going to name the under 20 side. And one of the boys got injured, and then they were like, could you just go up and just jump in one of the trials teams? So I was like, yeah, sweet, I'll just go up and trial. And we played the Chiefs, and at that time it was like Sevu Reese was playing, and I was like marking him, and I kind of knew him from school. So and I was just like, this guy's beast, he was a second 5 back then, but they pushed him to the wing just to play us. Holy, and he was just trying to run over me the whole time, and I was just tying his shoelaces for him. I was just shoof, 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 just chopping him, bang, bang. I was even chopping him without the ball. And then, so then, like from there, I was lucky enough, funny enough, I made that team to go over to Aussie with no injuries, and I'm not too sure what they did, but so I made that team to Aussie, which was quite cool. And then I think they were going to cut that team down from their Aussie team to go to the World Cup. They're going to cut it down. I think they were supposed to cut like 2 backs, 2 outside backs, but lucky enough, they took the 2 outside backs, which was pretty cool. So then I was pretty blessed to go to Georgia for the World Cup and that was quite cool because I just went for another sabbatical. Really, we went over there for a holiday. Didn't play one game. Oh, actually, I did play one game, but nah, we had a stacked outside back. So yeah, no, I enjoyed the time over there and the experience. So
Who was ahead of you?
there was Caleb Clark, there was Tima, I think Braden Ennell was covering. There was Will Jordan, there was Josh Mackay. Yeah, so there was like a
Not
lot of
bad,
boys
eh?
that could. Yeah, there was not it was a not bad outside back there. So yeah, no, it was great to be a part of, and then like seeing everyone now in the Super and then All Blacks. So
Mm.
it's quite cool to see.
Yeah, and then post that for you, you went into the New Zealand Sevens camp, eh?
Yeah. So I went to the New Zealand Sevens camp. That was probably just because I didn't have any Super or anything, so I just went to do some sevens, and I actually rated it. Like just traveling the world, seeing different parts of the world, especially it's different. It's not as what people think it is. It's actually like such a hard game, and like
Mm.
yeah. It's probably the one thing that gets me is like player. So like once you finish a game, you're like tied, but like you share changing room. So like you share changing room. So a normal changing room you share with like three teams. So you
Yeah.
could be like with Fiji and Kenya, So you're like listening to three different musics, like, and you're listening to our music like pumping, and then you're hearing Fijian songs, and you're hearing the Kenyan songs, and you're like, yo, this is actually unreal. But yeah, it's probably the hardest one is like you kind of have to recover somehow real quick in order to play again. So that's probably one thing I took as something important is like recovery,
Mm.
especially when it comes to like high performance type sport is your recovery.
And how'd you find the environment, the New Zealand Sevens environment?
Oh, it was great. It was great just because I was in that Mitre 10. I was in that Mitre 10 environment, and you know how like you're like in a group of what 30 plus or 15 players, and you're like
Yeah.
you have all your different groups. But like in a seven squad, there's only like 12 of you on tour, so it's just always a group of you just always going with each other, which is like it's yeah, great bond and like unreal environment, especially like because coaching and the management and the players are real close together. So
Mm.
I loved it. I loved it.
Mate, it sounds like you had a good time because not often I get so many questions from one team come in from the Instagram, but the Sevens boys, they came in truckloads. So I do want to go for the mid podcast questions here with some of the ones that came in. So haven't done this before, but I think this is probably the best way to get through some of these questions because you did get plenty in. But first one, any good promos in Vancouver? This one obviously came from Regan Ware, the lad.
Regan Ware, the lad of lads. Yeah, no, surprisingly, I did this real nice one with Trail Joas, and it was like it was actually well, I think it was a stitch up, really. Like I think it actually was a stitch up, and it was like with these um, like Netflix actors. It was quite weird in a way because we didn't know what we were doing, but just yarning and like video, like it was just like over video, but like there was no like script or no. Yeah, it was real weird. Like, and then it was just for them, so it wasn't anything to do with I think the New Zealand team. It was just like Vancouver Sevens tying into Netflix or something like that with those Netflix actors. Yeah, it was real. But hey, it was great. Hey, it was unreal. Like we got free feed. Had the first time tasting Wagyu beef. So I was like, oh, I used to watch it on YouTube, so I was quite happy with that. Like, hey, I took something out of it, and it was the Wagyu beef, and now, yeah, can't get it anywhere else.
So what was it like? You were just yarning to actors and it was being filmed and never got played anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, I think it got played over there because do you know how their Netflix is different to ours?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
that
So what
network
was it
type
like a
thing. So
Netflix special with its chalk?
and the extra trail and the extra trail just awkwardly sitting in the other side.
Oh, that's good stuff. Okay, next one. This is Vancouver as well. Why is Vancouver your favorite sevens tournament? Sam Dixon.
Oh, probably just the people. The people are unreal. Like, for example, like New Zealand, like the sevens team. It's not like you don't just we can't just rock into the airport and everyone's just, oh my gosh, the sevens team,
Yeah.
you know. But in Vancouver, holy, they think we're like, you know, the NBA team. Like, oh my, and I'm like, oh, settle down, calm down, calm down. It's only the NT sevens team. Nah, just great. Like they put rugby on like this massive pedestal. So, yeah, nah, it's great. And then their stadium's quite great, especially their what do you call those massive like screens in the middle of like NBA?
Oh, big screen.
Yeah, they call it something. Yeah, whatever they're called. It starts with T, but yeah. Nah, they have one of those, so it's
Oh,
quite.
yeah.
You know, when you get a try, you look up and you see, like, frick, that's how LeBron James does stuff. Like, you know. So,
Oh, you would have been in your zone.
Yeah. Oh, I was, yeah, and then like I'm not too sure if then Silas's old Sass. I'm not too sure if he was there when I was in Vancouver, but oh my gosh, that guy's a winner too. But anyway, another story.
Well, speaking of
Another question
Sass, got a question from Sass as well. How's Chock Mechanic going from Jonty?
from John T himself. Oh, it's actually quite good. It's going good actually.
What is the Chock Mechanic?
The Chock Mechanics. So I did a mechanics course here on my first year down here in 2016, and I was supposed to do my apprenticeship the next 2 years, and I kind of like, oh no, I put it on pause. Like I think rugby's gonna take off here. I can't be doing both, you know. But you know, um, so I did this mechanics course, and everyone thinks it's like I'm lying, but honestly, I can fix cars. I don't know about fixing like people's cars, but I'll probably fix my own car. So so anyway, I'm not too sure if I should tell you this story, but this might come out to my workmate, the work experience guys that I used to work for. Anyway, quick story. I did work experience on a Friday, and I was unreal, Jim. I was unreal. Like cars come in, cars went out, cars come in, cars went out. Probably in like 30 minutes, I probably went through how many services. And these were not normal services. These were transmission services and engine services. Filters, changed, washed. Bro, I was doing everything. Hands, grease everywhere. Anyway, so I was doing my thing on a Friday. Overall, steel cap boots, boom, bang, cold. I was just pumping through them. And then this one day, it was like near lunchtime, and then the boss and his work colleague were like, "Oh, Jonah, could you quickly do this car? It just needs to get out before lunch." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sweet." And then they left for lunch, so I'm like, "Oh, sweet." So I like get under the car, just do everything, change the filter, I put the car back down on the hoist, and I'm like filling it with the gun, and like you got to kind of put like 4 liters into it, and I'm like filling it, and I'm seeing on the thing like 2, 3, 4 on the gun. It's like just on a digital screen, so 3, 4, and I'm like, oh, that might be it. So I like stop the gun, and then I start to move, and I can hear a puddle. But this is inside a garage. I'm like, why is there a puddle? So I like look under the car, and I forgot to put the bung. So this 4 liters has just gone straight in the car, come back out and hit the floor. And I'm like, oh my heart is racing. So I put this hoist back up, put the bung back in, and I'm like, oh, these guys are gonna be here soon. So I go get these rags, like cut open these rags, and I just chuck it on the ground, and I'm just mopping this ground, like, oh, I've got to get rid of this evidence. And then I reset the gun, and I'm like, oh, like real panicky. And then like as soon as they like start to drive into the garage, I'm like the gun's in, and I'm like filling it. Oh, that's good work. Like you're starting to fill it. I was like, yeah. Nah, it wasn't too bad, eh? Like, but to this day they don't know. But if this podcast comes out, they'll probably know that they need to charge me 4 liters of engine oil.
Mate, you did well to cover that up.
Yeah, I was in panic. Like I was panicking, and it was weird because like it was uneven surfaces, so the oil was like dripping everywhere. Like so, it wasn't just in a puddle everywhere. Yeah.
Mate,
So
what a
mechanic
mechanic though. Jeez, you got through some work in that morning shift by the sounds of it.
I used to get into some shift. I think they want me back there just because of that. But I was like, maybe I'll go do some work in my 8 week sabbatical that I have now. Maybe we'll see.
Okay, next one. How did it feel being the 8th strongest in BLC from Stubby? Another lad.
Yeah, another lad. Yeah, BLC is Big Lifters Club.
Oh, yeah.
Only a special few get to be named the BLC, and I was probably one of the OGs. I don't know why he was saying the eighth, because I was probably the first. For me, it was more like a mindset type thing, and that's what like broke me. That's what my point of difference is compared to those others. Mindset, like mindset to lift it, like I could just lift it with my head. Doesn't mean I can lift it with my arms, It's all up here. It's all up here, Jim.
Oh, I like that mindset. Oh, what a lifter. Okay, next one. Are you still practicing tippy toes? Another one from Reegs.
Yeah, that's probably why I not actually. Unfortunately, Riggs, I am not, because just ruptured my ankle, so I definitely haven't been doing any tippy toe type exercises. Unfortunately,
Were you quite a big practicer of it?
yeah, I was a real good practicer of it. Like I'd probably be like overtime type person. Like I just get into it, and I just love the burn. I just love that burn, and I'll just like tell the boys like, you need to do this. But they thought it was a piss take, but I was like, mate, what's the difference between me and you? Nothing. There was nothing really, but what is it?
Oh, okay. Last one from one of the Sevens lads. This one was from your coach. Ask him about the voice activated TV at the World Cup with Salisi from Clarkie.
So, hey, great question there, Clarky. So me and Sass were roommates, and everyone in that sevens. So we're at the World Cup, and everyone had like great roommates, like, and I don't know why I had Sass, like. So I flipped around and I told him, maybe this is like maybe they're challenging me here to be a leader. Maybe they're actually like, hey, you can be a leader to Sass. So being the chock man I am, I was like, I'll take him under my wing. So, and anyway, we get into our room, and me and Sass are just chilling there, and I have the remote underneath the blanket, and I'm just lying in bed. I'm like, bro, Sass, there's TV's voice activated, eh? And he's like, no, they're not. And I was like, yeah, they are. And then he was like, show me then. And I was like, oh, TV, turn on. And I like push the button underneath the blanket, and the TV turns on. And then like this goes on for like 2 days. And like the thing is, I was telling Sass like, oh, it's only on my voice. And then went on for like legit 2 days, no joke. And he was gutted because I hid the remote. So like the only way is and he brought his PlayStation. So the only way he could play his PlayStation, Shock, hurry up, come to the room so you could turn the TV on. And I was, oh yeah. So I started telling everyone that, oh no, I told him that it was voice activated. So anyway, it comes to the third day, and I'm like, oh here. And I grabbed something random, like not even a remote, and I just grab it, and I'm like, oh, talk to this, and like hopefully your voice goes to the TV. Like this is the mic.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a little thing of like the alarm clock or something. I don't know, something random. And I was like, oh, just talk to this, like say your name, and like so he's like piping up, saying his name and stuff. And I'm just cracking up, and so day 3 or day 4 comes along, and I'm like, I'm brushing my teeth, and all I hear is TV, turn on. And I'm just like giggling away. And then he's like, volume up to 15. And I'm just lolling in the bathroom, like, ah, this guy's got me. And he's like, what are you laughing at? I said, no. I was like, what's wrong? He said, no, it's not working. I was like, oh, okay. So I jumped back into bed, and I like got the remote again, and I was like doing it like, oh, TV 15. And then anyway, like someone accidentally like told him at lunch that like Chock's playing tricks on you. Holy heck! And he felt and he didn't talk to me for a good day. He was that angry. But like that was probably one of the greatest stories I've ever told with Sass is the voice activation TV story.
Mate, that is so good. He's classic for a prank too, old Salisi.
Oh,
one of
he
the greats.
is one of the greats, one of the greatest golfers I've ever seen too. Style wise, but I don't know about his game. But, yeah, no, he's definitely one in a million.
Oh, he sure is. But mate, sounded like you had a hell of a time in that sevens camp. Did you ever think about staying in there, or was 15s always the dream for you?
Yeah, 15s was always the dream for me. It kind of got a bit repetitive with the sevens setup, just because like I'm not too sure like if they evolve in a lot of things. there's only 7 people on the field. Like you can only do so much. So, yeah, I would go back to it if they had millions of dollars there. But
love the honesty.
yeah, 100%. You probably train more than you play, to be honest. Well, hey, it was great for the body, and hey, great setup up in Tauranga, up in the mount. So, yeah, I think 15s was where I wanted to be, and I think you can go way further in a rugby career with 15s than 7s.
So how did you find going into the Otago setup?
Yeah, it was my first year actually. I thought I chose the wrong team because I had like the Otago outside backs were stacked back then. It was like Tony Insall, Jack Wilson, Matt Faddis, Fussy Foot-Tie. So they were like experienced players. And then like 2017, they just all left, just got up and left. And I was like, holy. So then I was like, oh, I'm the next person in line. So they had to pick me. So I was kind of happy with that. But it was probably the thing for me was like I had to make it work. So like, I came down to had to make it work. And I wasn't much of a drinker back then, so I didn't really get into the scarfy life. So real focused in playing rugby. So I really enjoyed it. And how I did it. I don't think if I did it differently, I don't think I would be where I am today, because it is kind of hard to be a scarfy and a rugby player. I must admit, like some people can, but I definitely reckon if I did it, I would have went the other way and become a professional drinker and probably become a professional streaker at Forsyth Bar.
That would be a tough streaker to tackle.
Oh, I'm telling you now, imagine that, right? You reckon you'd be your first streaker to ever have rugby boots on.
Were you always confident going into that environment, playing your first few games for Otago? Because you seem like a confident guy. Did you always have that confidence on the field?
Nah, definitely not. I was probably real shy. I think as the years got on with playing rugby, getting older, I think I started to get way more confidence in myself and like how powerful you can be, especially if like fans and kids look up to you. Like they don't want to see someone that's shy and not shy, but not confident in what like you believe in. So that's probably one thing I've taken away is like the confident you are, the more a fan or a kid would want to be like you. So, yeah, kind of flip it like that. If I had a idol back in the day, what would I want them to be like, and how would I want them to act if I was in the same room as them? So
were you always confident as a kid? Like, were you always one of the guys who was comfortable to get up in front of the class and do a song or dance or stuff? Or have you sort of taught yourself to be this confident?
Nah, I probably taught myself how to be this confident, to be honest. I was probably, real shy back in school. But yeah, it's like if you know something, you're real confident, but like if you don't know it, you're like real shy, like, nah, don't pick me. So I think that's probably one thing that like I've used rugby as a good example is like I can be so much confident with it just because I know about it.
And one game that stands out for me from your Otago times is obviously the Ranfurly Shield game where, mate, this is a story of a lifetime. There should be a movie made about this. The ruptured testicle, he plays on and wins the Shield. Oh, one of the greats.
Oh, yeah, it was funny because it was like Quinn Tupai gave me like a knee straight to the nut knee straight. It popped and I managed to, I was like, nah, something's wrong here, like something's wrong. Like this pain's real bad. So I tell the doc, like, nah, I can't play anymore. Like, you got to sub me out. So subs me out, and Mitch Scott pulls a calf or something. Like, he pulls something real bad, and there's no one on the bench. And there's like 5 minutes to go, and we're up. And they're like, oh, Chock, you have to go back on. So I'm like, oh, okay. Then like I'm limping on, and I'm like low-key in pain, like maybe like a 7 out of 10 pain, 8 out of 10. And I get there, and like, all we have to do is kick it. And they just go, Chock, come in and like bridge. I'm like, I don't want to bridge, like kick the ball out. So if you see this video, I'm like in there and I'm bridging for a bit, like, gee, don't hit me, like. And like we win, and then like I'm cheering along. But after the game, my mum comes up to me, and I was like, Mum, my back is so sore. And my mum's like rubbing my back, like, is this fine? Is this fine? Like, this is all right. And like, as mums do it, they're like, I was like, yeah. Nah, it's actually so sore. Like, and I was like hunched over, like, just couldn't stand up straight. And anyway, I get to the showers and I'm having a shower, and like, I look down. Holy, it's a bloody shot put ball. Like, it's like swollen, and I'm like, it's already big itself, but this one, Jim, holy, it was like bigger than big. I was like, weird. So I was like still dirty. Like I legit just got in the shower, soap. Like I was like soaped up a bit, and I was like, gee, nah, I got to get out of here. So like while I'm still soaped, I like run over to Doc and our physio, and I'm like, nah, like something's wrong. So they chuck me on the table, and then they like see, and they're like, oh, flip, like straight to the emergency room, like still in like my kit, like I haven't even had a shower properly, and have X-ray and scan and stuff, and then they put me for surgery, and they put me on a drip, and then I have surgery the next morning. But the team flies down to Dunedin, and that was like our. I've heard about that parade that they have at the airport that they do down here. So because that was our first time, I was like, I got to make this flight, and the doctor's like, oh, we'll have to have you overnight again, and I was like, oh. No. I gotta get there. I gotta be in that flight. And he's like, no. After surgery, you gotta stay another night. And I was like, okay. And then the nurse comes up to me after the doctor. He's like, oh no, you can like discharge yourself. So I was like, oh sweet. I'll just do that. So she's like, sweet. So I discharged myself straight after surgery. But like the thing is, it's like so weird. They put me in a jock strap, or was that what you called it?
Yeah.
And I don't know what they were, And so what they did is like, they were like, oh, we'll just chuck you straight into your clothes straight away. So I was like, oh, thank you very much. So I woke up in my Otago kit, like all like ready to go, like polo and all. And I'm like, oh, thanks so much. And anyway, I go to the flight, and all the boys are like, show us. I was like, I can't show you. But anyway, I showed them, and then like one of them like pulled the back of my pants down. He was like, gee, are you wearing a G-string? And I was like, no. And I was getting like real, like, he's like, why are you picking on me? Like, flip, I just lost a nut. And like, I didn't lose a nut, but like, I was just like, and then like, I pulled it down, and then they were all laughing at me. And I'm like, gee, what am I wearing? Like, I can't be wearing this. But yeah, anyway, we managed to come down to Dunedin and caught the flight. Oh, it was great. And then they apparently, like, one of the flight attendants must have heard that I ruptured my testicle, and she gave me like some chocolate almonds on the flight. Gave me a wee announcement too, and I was like, oh, thank you.
Oh mate, that's one of the great. So did you lose a nut, or no, you still got two?
Yeah, I still got two. Because it was so big, yeah. Do you know how it's so big? Like, it's hard to explain to someone. Like, so because it's so big, it's so easy to like sew it up. But if you have a small one, it's pretty hard. So yeah.
Is it bigger now? Like, does it affect your rugby at all, or does it help your rugby? More momentum?
Yeah, more testosterone before the game, probably. I'd say just creates a bit more.
Oh, good times. And then obviously moving to the Highlanders. I think you were what, 2 or 3 years before you got the Highlanders call up. What was it like when you finally got that?
Oh, it was unreal. That's a story by itself as well. So on my last year of the Sevens in like 2019, Tavita Nambora goes down injured and my agent like emails me. It's like, oh, would you be keen to go to the Highlanders? This is like mid-season. Like, we're just about to go Vancouver, the greatest place in the whole universe of Sevens. And I was like, double-minded. Like, I want to go to Vancouver, but I want to go to like Super 8. Like, I want to go Super Rugby. And I tell the boys quickly, like, gee, I think I'm off. Like, I think I'm off to the Landers. And then they're like, bullshit. I was like, yo, like, so anyway, like, they have this massive argument with the Sevens and the Highlanders that they were like trying to give me a contract to go straight away, but like the Sevens weren't letting me go. So then I was like, I burnt bridges here. Like, I burnt bridges at the Sevens because I said that I was just going to leave. And then I was like, oh my, like in the back of my head, I was like, I'm not going to Vancouver. Like, like, oh my gosh, like Vancouver's the best place. And I've like just one place I want to go to, and I've just burnt myself here. Like, And anyway, I get named to go to Vancouver, and I'm like, trying to suck the balls, the coaches and stuff like, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Like, I'll never leave yous, I didn't want to leave yous anyway. Like, I love this environment. And then funny enough, was in Vancouver, and that's where the great promos came along that year. But yeah. So when I was quite happy that like the Landers were keen on me, like in 2019 when they had injuries. So lucky enough that they just signed me straight till 2020. So it was kind of cool that I already had a deal with them before the year even finished with the Sevens. So that was kind of it was just it's probably the one thing that you want to dream about, is just like having a contract, like super contract, and you're not even like you're not fighting for one, you already got one. So it's probably a cool thing.
And what was the biggest difference going from the NPC to Super Rugby, all from Sevens? What was the biggest difference for you?
Say it again, sorry.
What was the biggest difference going into Super Rugby from NPC?
Oh, NPC, just more money, eh? Like you just see, like like in terms of no, not more money in terms of me, like more money in the system, like and that one, yeah, more money both ways. No, definitely. I don't know. They just, it's great. Like, there's nothing that's like on a budget or not. Like, there is a budget, but like it's way more than what a NPC team would have, and just like hotels and stuff. Like, that's probably the one thing that I took out of is like you get quality stuff, and like which is quite good. Like, it's not quantity, it's quality that counts.
That's it.
That's a wee gym for the day.
Oh, I like that one. And it was the 2021 season where you really sort of lit the comp alight. Some form you were in that year, scoring tries everywhere, carving teams up. What was it like that year for you? And where did that form sort of come from? Or was that always did you always have it just waiting for an opportunity?
Yeah, I think I was just waiting for an opportunity. But also just backing myself really. Like, I think I'm not too sure what game it was. Maybe it was like I think we played maybe the Brumbies over in Canberra.
Oh yeah.
And that was probably like one of the games where I was like, oh, I can like compete, I can compete in this competition. So that's probably one game that I took out. Like my size, I ain't the biggest winger, so like it's just how do I make it work for myself, and just a point of difference. Like, what can I do that other wingers can't do, and things like that, and just working on it week in, week out. It's probably the one thing that I took out of that first year, and then just really believing in myself.
And did you ever get any feedback from the All Blacks? I mean, I know there's a lot of speculation around you potentially being in the squad that year as a bit of a bolter, but did you have any feedback around it?
Nah, not at all. Nah. I'll probably go play for Fiji, to be honest. I think they're lacking a first five, so I'll probably go over there,
Well, mate, I was gonna ask you that. Like, obviously you are eligible for New Zealand and Fiji. Is that genuinely what you're thinking? Would you go to the Rugby World Cup with Fiji this year if you can?
Yeah. If I can, I think. But I think all my contracts at the moment, I think I'm locked in here. So I'm not too sure if I could somehow not have that in my contract. But I'm pretty sure that usually I'm locked in for the New Zealand side.
Oh, so you've got a New Zealand Rugby Union contract, do you? On top of your
Nah.
Highlanders one?
No. It's just like in my Highlanders one, it's like has this like clause in it that I can't go play for like another national team. Like, I have to be New Zealand eligible or something like that. So that's probably the one thing that's holding me back.
True. So you'd be off straight away to Fiji.
Oh, I'll think about it. Definitely
Interesting,
think about
mate.
it. Yeah.
You'd be handy at that Rugby World Cup for Fiji. Probably around fullback, because there's that many wingers they've got going.
Yeah, well, honestly, I was
the
like,
whole backline's wingers.
The whole backline is wingers, honestly. Like, that's what they're missing, I reckon. It's just a good first five and a good fullback. Like,
with a big left foot. Like, handy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
mate. But then obviously in your Highlanders time, that knee injury sort of struck at quite a niggly time. You've spoken about the rehab process, but how did you deal with that initially when you first found out you had done your ACL and you were out for 9 months or whatever it was?
Yeah. It was actually funny because, like, when you're like young, you think you're bulletproof.
Mm. Yep.
That's the funny thing. That's a good Paddy Parkinson quote. I'm bulletproof, So give him a wee plug there. Yeah, so like at the time, like I did my knee, and the funny thing is, like doctors and physios, they know that you've done your ACL, but they never tell you at the time.
Mm.
And all they do is like, oh no, like we'll get a scan on Monday, like you'll be fine, like but they definitely know that you just did your ACL. Like there's no hiding it. Like it's funny because you're a specialist. Do you know how you can do that test and like you can feel your ACL?
Yeah.
And I was like, when the specialist doing it, I was like, gee, so my doctor, my physio just lied to me straight in the face. Like my ACL was gone, and they just told me, no, we'll just wait for the scan. Gee, no, you don't need that scan. So anyway, I have the scan, and I this is here in Dunedin. I have the scan, and like doc calls me and says, unfortunately, it's not good news there, Jona. You've ruptured your ACL, so you'll be out for a wee while. Oh yeah, what, like 5 months, 3 months? He's like, nah, 9 months, and all this. My heart just sank out. I was like, holy, like 9 months. What do I do in 9 months? Like, you might as well say 12 months. Like, put me on Christmas, like, now, wrap me up and leave me underneath the tree. Cafe. Anyway, so like I was like, and then I thought about it in the car. I was like, you can either take it two ways. Like, you can either feel sorry for yourself or just take this opportunity to, I think, make it as a positive. So I think I took it as a positive where, didn't really see it as me missing out. As like, I think that's what I kind of took bad as, like, when the boys were training, I was like, they're missing out on my fun. Instead of me missing out on the team's fun. It was like I tried to flip it, and like, so every day I'd take Shannon's jet ski out and I'd like just go in the harbour, like, because I was training for like 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half every morning. I'll just tell Shannon, I'm taking the jet ski out. Like, so I'll just take the jet ski out and just hoon around in the harbour while the boys are training in the stadium. Like, I'll just be hooning around, sending everyone snaps that I'm on the jet ski, like have a wee Corona in the back, like just popping it open. And I don't drink. The thing is, I don't drink, but I just had like a Corona in the back just so like they can think, oh, this guy's actually living life. But and then I just pour it down, pour it into the sea and recycle the bottle. But that's probably the one thing I took out of that, the bad news, which I kind of made into a good news.
Mate, I like that mindset, and obviously that's why you've come back in such red hot form. But you did mention a few fishing, a little bit about your fishing and jet ski. I know you've got some good fishing and jet ski stories, especially with Shannon. So, mate, take it away.
Oh, poor Shannon. So, got to get comfortable here, Jim. So it was Shannon's first day of buying his jet. I was like, he just bought his jet ski. He bought it in Wanaka, this massive jet ski, like it was a fishing one. And what do you call it? So he's taken it out in Wanaka. He's honed it around a bit, and then he's come down here in Dunedin. And I'm like, you got to take me out, Shannon. You got to like legit take me out. So it's his first time having a jet ski. So like, you got to bear with us there. So we go to the harbour, the docks, and we're like pulling up, and there's like a couple families there. There's like a family that's waiting to go out, and there's a family waiting to come in. And there's one ramp, a couple ramps, but one was getting used. So then I was like, Shannon, we'll just put it down here. So Shannon like tells me, do this, do that. Like, yep. And I'm like, yep, tick, tick, tick. Yep, that's it. And then I reverse the trailer in and put the jet ski in. And this family is like legit, like right next to us. And they're like, holy, that's a nice jet ski. And I was like, it's not mine. It's my friend here. And it's new jet ski. Just got to go for a hoon. And then it's probably the worst day to ever go for a hoon on the jet ski that day, by the way. And so Shannon was like, stop, get me out. So he got out, and then he was like, so he was on the jet ski. And I was like, and he was like, push. So I'm like, thrusting this jet ski, like trying to launch it off the trailer. And he's like, oh, no, the chain. So we unhooked the chain. There was that chain bit. So unhooked the chain. And it's like, yeah, now do it now. So he starts the jet ski up and he's like reversing. But this family's like looking at us. These guys are all good. Like, these guys don't know what they're doing. Anyway, I'm like listening to Shannon. It's like Dumb and Dumber, And I'm just thrusting, like trying to push this jet ski off. And I'm like, gee, Shannon, this ain't coming off. So anyway, Shannon jumps off the jet ski and we're both trying to push this jet ski off. And I'm like, nah, there's something wrong here. So anyway, Shannon's like starts like scratching his head. And he's like, oh, I left the strops on. So the strops on the back of the jet ski are still stropped. And I was like, so we're looking like rookies here on a brand new jet ski. And we just have to the thing is we have to drive the truck back up, take the strops off to go reverse back down. Oh my days. And I'm like, gee, you're making us look like amateurs. And I'm like, while the family's like looking at us, I'm like, you're making us look like amateurs. And I'm like slapping his head. Oh, idiot. Anyway, we get off and we're on his jet ski, it's like there's that speaker, those Bluetooth speakers.
Oh.
And we're just honing it. And in a dock, those speed limits that you're allowed, it's 10 or 5 knots. And outside, in the harbour, it was choppy as it was bad, like the worst day you could ever take a jet ski. It was real bad. And I was like, nah, Shannon, we got to go back in. And we didn't read the sign, and the sign said 10 knots or 5 knots. So anyway, we're in this dock and we're just blasting these island jams. Like, holy heck, it was loud, and we're just honing it. The thing is, we're trying to pull who could pull the fastest, and in a 20 meter, maybe like a 50 meter length, and we're like, oh, you're going 50 knots, and we're like fist pumping each other and laughing. And then we get these 2 old men that come over to the dock, and they're like, oi, and they're like calling us over. And I was like, oh shit, what's wrong here? Yeah. Like, Shannon, put the volume down. And then he's like, oi, you effing, don't you read the signs? You can't go over 5 knots. And I was like so stunned. I was like, oh my. I was like, oh, it's his jet ski. So I just put Shannon straight into it. They're like, oh, he was driving, it's his jet ski. And Shannon's fully like, oh, sorry, it's my first time having this. And I'm just like lolling at the back, like, don't even sack your balls like that. So anyway, we're just laughing, and then we sack it and we just jump back on the trailer and we're just head off home, and we're both giggling on the way home. Gee, we're idiots. We can't be doing that. We need, and then we're now we finally read the rules of docks and stuff, and rules around the water and stuff like that. So now we know. So it was a good experience. That's what I said to Shannon. Hey, we don't chase fish, we chase experience.
And the fish just come.
And the fish just come, 100%.
Oh, that is good stuff, mate. That is a good yarn. I knew you had a good fishing yarn there, and that was a good one. So we will go to the questions because, mate, we've still got plenty more. Not these ones aren't from 7.
Oh no, Jim. I got another story for you.
Oh, another fishing yarn. Go on.
This is a good one. This is probably the best one. So there's this, me and Shannon are probably the worst fishermen in the whole universe of fishermen. And so we wake up and do you know how fishermen, so this is how I think fishermen do it. They probably wake up and they go see the ocean, and be like, oh, it's a bit choppy today, maybe not, maybe check maybe the forecast and stuff. But me and Shannon, we did the opposite. We wake up, we look at the sun, oh, it's a nice day, let's go fishing,
Yeah.
So anyway, this one day we're like, let's go fishing. This is a beautiful day. But beautiful day up in the sky, but not on the water. So it's the worst day you could ever go fishing. And me and Shannon have this anthem. I'll try to show you this. Try to figure out this anthem. So we have this fishing anthem that we always play just before we go fishing, and we reckon it gives us good luck. And it is called "I'm Gonna Miss Her." It's just the wee track that we play in. And, we're just chanting away, Shannon's outside and I'm just driving next to him on the beach, and we're just about to reverse the jet ski. This day is the worst day. These tides were probably the sets were probably 4 sets, and they're real close together. But I was like, gee, Shannon, we can't back out now. Had our bait ready cut up, hooks, lines, everything was set. We put the jet ski in and chuck it on. And the thing is, me and Shannon, we can read each other's what the emotions are, So yeah. I'm like, oh, Shannon, do you wanna drive? like, Shannon, you can drive. Like, so I'm trying to give it to him to drive. And Shannon's like, oh, no, you drive. So I'm like, oh, this guy's not confident. So, okay, I'll drive you. I get on the jet ski and I'm like, that's us. Let's go. So we're like driving around, and I'm just trying to time these tides like perfectly. And anyway, the thing about Shannon is he like, you can hear like his voice. Oh, you'd know Shannon, eh? Like his voice is like real defined, like, stop, like, stop. Like, that's how he sounds. Eh? So,
wow.
Anyway, I'm going through the waters, like I'm just pounding these waves, like woof, wave after wave. I'm just going. Then Shannon's at the back of me, and he's one of those backseat commentators, like backseat drivers. He's like, no truck, not that one. Like, and I'm like, they're like, let me drive. Like, I'm telling him, this is like a windy, choppy day. And anyway, I get through one, get through the other, and then I just see this wave start to build. And I'm like, I can hoon this. And if I time this well, we're going straight across, right? But like Shannon like gives me doubt like at the wrong time, and it's like curves, the wave just curves, and he's like, truck, pull out. And I'm like, oh, it's too late, like legit, Jim, it's too late. This wave's up, and I'm like right underneath it. So I just hoon it. Like the only thing I can do is just hoon it. So I'm hooning it, and we're going straight to the moon, like legit. We're like straight up. All I see is the sky, and I'm like, no, like what am I doing? Anyway, the thing is, Shannon jumps off the jet ski. So he just like jumps off the jet ski and he just goes into the water. And I'm like, and it makes the jet ski like tip just because he's kicked off.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. At this point, I don't know. And I'm just like, please, like, I got to take this jet ski down to the water, So I'm like up in the air, come down. And once the jet ski hits the water, I pop off. Funny thing is, I didn't put the jet ski key on my jacket. So the jet ski was like running, and I'm underwater, right? I'm just underwater, like, and I'm just like, my heart's like racing. I'm like, I got to find this jet ski just because these tides are coming. And once like one tide gets this jet ski, me and Shannon are F, like we're just. So I'm like, mindset is boom. I got to get out of this water, and I got to find the jet ski as soon as possible. So I like go down and like just jump up, like I just touch the ground and I just jump up, and then I like, look around, I find the jet ski, jump on the jet ski, and I'm like honing, like I'm just like, where's Shannon? Like, I just can't see Shannon. He's like tumbling underneath the water, like just tumbling. All I can see is his like life jacket just tumbling. And I'm like, this is Bondi rescue type stuff, And I'm like, get into lifeguard mode. And I'm like looking around, like, and there's this massive like set just coming right behind me. So I'm like, gee, I gotta go. So I hone out all the way back to the beach. And Shannon like pops up his head and he goes, Shaw, come back. And I'm like, I was like, in my head, I was like, turn around. Like, there must be a reason why he's left. Like, he wouldn't be next to me, Gee, this guy doesn't think, At the point, I'm like, gee, think. There must be like a wave coming. So anyway, he's like growling me to come back to him, and he turns around and this wave just demolishes him, just starts, and he's just in this like washing machine. He like gets up. All I see is I'm on the beach just watching him because I'm like stuck. I can't go get him. And in my head, I was like, he's always like, if one person, it's better if one person dies than two, so one can tell the story. Well, that's how the mindset, the mindset in my head was like, hey, I could tell this story, but if both of us die, no one can tell the story. So, so I'm like, no, I'll just watch him. So I'm on the beach and I'm just like watching him, like, please get out, like, like, please somehow just get out of there. And I'm just on the jet ski in the shallows, like, what do I do? Like, where do I go? And you're like, Shannon's just getting tumbled after tumble. And anyway, he like comes up like after like 5 minutes of getting like in his washing machine, he stands up and he's just laughing, like he has this like smile on his face. And I'm just on this, I just launched the jet ski back on the beach, and I'm just like on the beach just laughing, like, what the hell did just went through? Like, what did we just go through? And like me and him just start giggling. But the funny thing is, we went to hunting and fishing that morning. We bought like these new jerseys, like these new pants. And the thing is, and we're telling each other, like, I don't think these pants were like tested to go underwater. Like, we just tested them, and me and him were just cracking up, and we're just soaked on the beach, just laughing. And one of the greatest stories, because then we told like our management, and they were like, you guys are idiots. And I was like, no. That's the thing though. We chase experience, not fish. That's one of our mini mottos of me and Shen.
Oh, mate, that is great. That is a funny yarn, but also quite scary, eh? Like, That sounds like
Yeah,
pretty scary when
yeah.
you see Shannon getting almost drowning there. But like you say,
Oh,
better
yeah.
better one
Oh,
to
we had
time than
life
two.
jackets, which was good. Yeah, well, that's what I was telling Shannon. I was like, yeah, these life jackets coming well, eh? Yeah, 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 brother. Yeah, that's why we wear them.
Oh mate, that yarn, one of the greats, absolutely worth it. I think
Oh,
that was actually the first question too, because it was a question about a fishing trip with Shannon, so it might have been that one. So um, good to get that one out the way. Okay, next one. Ask him how long it took him to do brake pads on his car. The mechanic, Chock mechanic, must have
ooh.
been quick.
Nah, it wasn't, unfortunately, just because I had, like, you know me, I just had to make some tools up on the spot because I didn't have my tool. I wasn't in the garage. So it was like makeshift stuff. And I made it work. You know me, Jim, I make things work. And as you know, took me half a day to change one brake pad on one side. And then I went down to my mechanic mate and he changed it in 5 minutes and I was shattered because I was so proud of myself that it took me half a day to do it in my driveway.
Yeah.
And then for him to do it in 5 minutes, it broke me. But hey, you live and you learn, eh? You know, you learn some tricks, so tricks in the trade of the job.
Chock mechanic charging overtime half a day on a brake
Oh,
pad.
100%, 100%.
Okay, next one. Ask him about his hunting adventure with squid.
Oh, this is great. Yeah, no, me and Squid go way back. Me and Squid, we're like this. Me and Squid. The funny thing is, people don't understand. Like, me and Squid are like legit. Like, everyone thinks I'm a townie. Oh, I'm a farmer. I'm a southern man through and through. You know, I'm a horseback type person. Oh, wait, Jim, I got to show you this. I might send you one. Hold on.
Okay.
I might send you this. I'm actually supposed to give you this.
Oh, the southern man. Look at that. Is that you on there?
Yeah, oh, of course, mate. You right. I'll send it to you. You just send me your email, your little box.
Get it in the studio. That would look good in here.
Yeah, no, right, right. It's a great pic, I must say. It's a great poster. Holy. Yeah, nah, me and Squid, yeah, we always go hunting. But the thing is, Squid's pretty smart. I'll give Squid that. You know, he's good. He's good. He always so he caught this pig. He must have caught this pig quite a like maybe like 5 months ago, and it was a massive pig. And he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go check this pig out if you want to come." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll come." So anyway, I'm a being a good guy, I am. Oh, yeah, I'll come. The man doesn't tell me it's like 3 hours away, and I'm like sitting in the passenger seat, like, are we there? Like, are we? Why is it like taking so long? Like, okay, it's good. Where are we going? But anyway, he's like yarning away, and I'm yarning away, and then anyway, we find this pig, and it's in this like valley, like in this galley. So, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like who's carrying this? Like, and I think Squid's knee was playing up that day too, and I just started running, so I was like, I ain't carrying it. So like, who's going to carry it out of us? So anyway, it was this massive pig. It was like 207 pounds or something like that. So like,
Jesus.
and it was yeah. So it was Squid's like max. So he was like, oh, like I gotta get this out, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, good luck. So oh yeah, good luck. And then like he's like, oh, so like I help him put on his back, and Squid's massive, but like this hog was just huge. And then he's like, nah, like, and his knees are shaking, like, and I was like, oh no, this ain't good. Like, I'm just like, nah. We just have to like so we put on like a pole and we're just like inching it up this hill.
Yeah.
And it took us maybe like 2 hours or 3 hours to get it up. But like the hill was that quick, legit. That hill was like 40 minutes. Like it was a 40-minute hike, but it was like a 2.5 hour, like with that pig, it was like that deadly. And then yeah,
It
I
sounds
like
like a
came
big
home, had
day.
a feed.
3 hours in the car,
Oh,
2 hours carrying the pig.
and the thing is, like, we woke up at 5 a.m., like, oh, but yeah, no. Great yards was good because, yeah, he
Oh,
just,
Lamb Squire,
yeah.
one of the greats, mate. No wonder his
Oh,
body
one of
was
the
wrecked.
greats. Oh, 100%. He's one of the greats. And the funny thing is, he's like, it's so good going hunting with him because he's got a side by side. So you just like, just chill and just let the dogs run out. But this is a quick yarn for you. We took Shannon out, and Shannon knows that Squid has like his gun with him. And we took Shannon out maybe like a couple months ago before he went. And what do you call it? I don't know, Shannon had a gun, but this is the funny yarn is He thought there's Squid's gun, so he bought this gun. And I got to Squid's truck before Shannon. It was dark. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I got into the truck, and I just in the light, I could see Shannon holding a gun case. The heck is this gun case? And he is so proud of himself. I'm like, a smile from like cheek to cheek, and he's just like, Squid, you're gonna be proud of me holding my gun, like just can't wait for Squid to be like, oh Shannon, you bought your gun. So anyway, we get to the field, and Shannon pulls out his gun. It's a BB gun. And I'm like, oh my days. I'm like, gee, the pigs are gonna laugh at us. Like, don't be carrying that around. Like, I was like, I'm done. And the funny thing is, I was making it worse. I was making the situation worse. And Squid was on Shannon's side, like, nah, it's all good, like, But I was just ripping into Shannon, like, gee, those bullets are not hurting anyone. And then funny thing is, I was like, oh, Squid, check us your bullets. And Squid had his like box of bullets. And like he was like, and I like grabbed them on my hand. I was like, oh, nice. And I was like, oh, Shannon, show us your bullets. And he had like this little test tube, like this little ass test tube, and he was like palming it in his hand. And I was like, oh my! All I did was just blow it off his hand. Like, that's why we don't shoot your gun. We just had this like, we just all loaded it. We just ended up shooting ice.
Mate, you and Shannon Frizzell should start a hunting and fishing program. Be one of the greats.
That's what people reckon we should, but yeah, definitely if I have another sabbatical, I'll get into it. Hopefully not, fingers crossed, no more sabbaticals, but
no, end of career. Okay, next one. This is the question from our major sponsor, Swish. If you could get a video shout out from any celebrity, who would it be and why?
Probably it would either be Neymar. Oh, I have to choose a few. It would be like Neymar, Messi. Neymar. It'll just have to be Neymar actually. Yeah. But like we're kind of good. Yeah, we're kind of good friends anyway. So,
mate, you look quite like him, eh? Do you get that often?
Yeah, well, I copied some of his tats, to be honest. Like, I need to put something here, and then I'll be Neymar, But like, yeah, we're already friends anyway. Like, so I don't need to like shout out from him. But like, if he wanted me to shout him out, I mean, if Swish can do that, I'll happily help out. But...
Right, lads, couple of lads, get him on the podcast too. Neymar,
yeah,
ask him to come on. He'd be a good one.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to meet up for lunch sometime. I think he's flying his jet over here. Something like that.
Going on the jet ski. Take him out.
Yeah. All right. I'd have to have a life insurance for that.
Okay, next one. What was your inspiration for the slingshot try celebration?
Oh, I think about myself as the Robin Hood of the Otago community. I steal from the rich and give to the poor. What are you laughing at, Jim? That's a great one. That's why that's why the arrows come out, because it was Robin Hood,
Good. Hey, that is good stuff. Okay. Next one. What's the ambush committee crew?
Ambush committee crew. It's a well-oiled crew that meets up every Wednesday or Tuesday, and we go to McDonald's. But the thing is, it's not about the meal, it's about connection. And the good thing about McDonald's is there's kids there. We could connect with the kids as well as eat our fatty meals.
A little bit dodgy,
so I think a little bit dodgy during a week of prep for a Super Rugby game, but I think about it as a promo, a promo that you're not going to get paid for, but it's not what people see, Like, I hope people don't tell the coaches and stuff that, we've seen like Jona Nareki and his crew like eating Macca's on Wednesday. But yeah, no, it's a great crew.
That's just Robin Hood doing his thing.
Oh, exactly. Stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. I'd almost get that tatted over here, to be honest.
Oh, you've got a few good mottos you could have tattooed on your neck. A few have come out from this episode. I like them. Okay, next one. This is probably a little bit to do with your poster that you just showed us. But why does he call himself a Southern man but scared of his spades?
Nah, so that was back in the day, like maybe like a year ago, that I was scared of spades. But now I'm just flip, you'd have to shoot my hand off to not get one, you know? Like it's that dangerous. And it's no ultra too, it's the full cream ones.
Oh.
Well, that's what I actually enjoyed him now, which is quite interesting. Because yeah, I was more of like a bloody, I wouldn't say cocktail, but like, a mixed type person, a
Yeah.
mixed like Malibu, pineapple type person,
Mm.
sweetness.
Yeah.
Because hey, yeah,
Yeah, you're into it.
I love a Spates now. I love it.
Oh, Michael Collins will be proud. That was sent in from him.
Oh yeah, hey, he would be proud. But the thing is, he didn't drink no Spates. I can tell you that. He wasn't drinking no Spates. He was drinking some pink gin. I can tell you that. I got some photos.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, last question. Ask this one every episode. Best piece of advice you have for a Woodland listener? And mate, going from this episode, there's been so much already. I feel like I'm being a bit greedy asking for one more.
Yeah. Oh no, what would you? Oh, if I was to say, what would you want? Would you want a serious one, or would you want a joking one?
Oh, mate, entirely up to you.
These a bit of
You
both,
choose your category.
Um, for me, it would be probably if I was to reword that, be I think make the most out of life, because there are some people that probably are struggling and they probably would want, like, like you can't always be sad. I feel like, you got to make the most of every day. Because I think about it, if I was to flip it around, like imagine if like a young person passed away, like people like I had so much to live, like this whole life was in front of them. So if I flip it around, like I should make the most out of my days, my weeks, so should really go to bed and be stoked of what I've accomplished in the day. So I think that's probably one thing I've taken out of it, is really make the most out of every day, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And yeah, especially being injured is like the flip side is being injured. You like I said, like you can either feel sorry for yourself or just take it as a positive and work on yourself and work on something that you haven't worked on before, especially because you have a lot of time. I had a lot of time.
Jeez. Yeah. I love that. That is such a cool mindset. Very good. Chasing experiences, not fish. I guess you sum it up.
Exactly. Hey,
you sum it up best, eh?
All right, that's it, Jimmy boy. Good now. I should start. I might actually go to be a lecturer at a uni psychology school. Or is that too much? Am I asking for too much?
I genuinely think you'd be really good at it. Listening to this, mate.
Nah.
Don't think I've learned as much from a podcast as I have from this one. Not just knowledge.
Oh, settle down,
jokes,
there,
but mate, the confidence. You've got everything. So, mate, it's been awesome to have you on the podcast. Really appreciate you coming on. Excited to see what's next for you, actually. Obviously, after your 8-week sabbatical, heading into the back end of this year's Bunnings NPC, then Super Rugby, potential World Cups, New Zealand, Fiji. Mate, we've got a lot to watch. You've got an exciting few years coming up for you. So I'm looking forward to following that. But appreciate you coming on the podcast, mate, and sharing some of your classic yarns.
Thank you. I appreciate having me on.
Mate, you're a lad.